Have you had a chance to see what we've got for sale? We get new deliveries and restock all the time, so make sure you check back often. Speaking of which, make sure you save any winged sapphires you come across. Those little babies get you discounts with me, Sharkfin's pit crew, and Miss Persephone's upgrades. Master Eon and the others are waiting for you. Good luck out there, Skylander.
We know from Spellslamser that the books we seek are somewhere in the halls of the ancients. But the hall is vast, and time grows short. Therefore, anyone who can possibly be spared from maintaining the Academy will be going on this mission to assist in finding these books. Chaos and the darkness threaten all of us. This is the key to putting an end to their evil, for good.
Oh, I wish I was as good at being as inspirational as that guy, but still it's hard to get excited about going to a library. Right, Hugo? Never mind.
Wow, this place is incredible. Look at all these books. I could stay in here forever.
Stay focused, Hugo. We're here for one thing, to figure out how to stop the darkness. And be careful. This is no ordinary library.
Come on, Callie, it's just a bunch of stupid moldy books. It's the most boring quest ever.
Ah, gotcha!
You see? And that's why I don't read.
The Coming of the Darkness by Pomfrey LaFuzzbottom. Great job, Flynn! This is exactly what we're looking for.
It is? I mean, of course it is. You know, I gotta admit that first chapter really pulls you in.
Skylanders of the dark element are stronger in this zone.
I think I found a book about the darkness, but since this library is cursed, it might be best if you open it. There has got to be something within these pages that will give us a clue to stopping it. Have a look, Skylander, and be careful.
Before creating the portals, the ancients explored the universe using magical relics called rift engines. But in their haste to spread the light of Skylands to other worlds, they created a powerful rift engine that opened a door to a forbidden world and unleashed a destructive force into Skylands, the darkness. Centuries later, in the age of the Portal Masters, the Skylanders had become the greatest champions the world had ever known. No enemy or debris could stand before their might. But the darkness was still out there, somewhere, laying in wait. Suddenly, tremors and aftershocks rumbled throughout the land. Some great evil was being conjured in the arcane keep of the Spellpunks. The devious Spellpunks had unearthed the very same cursed relic that had allowed the darkness into Skylands centuries ago. The Dark Rift Engine. Spellpunks had to be stopped before they could use its power to awaken the darkness. But the way to the Citadel had grown treacherous. Danger sprang from the shadows. The Spellpunks were drawing magic from the Dark Rift Engine, feeding power to the darkness. Skylanders fought their way through the danger, charging into the mouth of the Spellpunk Keep. Then, without warning, all of Skylands began to quake. And a wave of fear swept over the land as a great and terrible shadow erupted from the keep. It bellowed in a deep and malevolent voice. Behold, Skylands, I have returned. All shall fear and obey me. I am the darkness.
I had always heard that it was the ancients who let the darkness into Skylands, but I've never heard about that Dark Rift Engine. Still, we don't know how they managed to finally defeat it. We'll have to keep looking, Skylander. Maybe one of the others found something useful.
Hey, Skylander, look at this!
Oh, I wish I could spend more time in here, but I'll stay focused. Oh, and Sharpfin said he found something.
Hey, Skylander, look at this!
Nope, I got nothing yet, Skylander. I think Sharp Stuff over there found something, though. Nope, I got nothing yet, Skylander. I think Sharp Stuff over there found something, though.
Hey, Skylander, look at this! You should try this one. The Charge of the First Light Squadron. It's about an elite squad of fighter pilots who took on the overwhelming forces of evil. Looks pretty turbulent in there. Best if you summon a sky vehicle if you want to take a look.
Clown Cruiser. Supercharged.
As the power of the darkness grew, the marauding forces that served it took control of the skies and terrorized the land. All hope seemed lost. Until a ragtag group of pilots was assembled with a single impossible goal: to hold back the encroaching evil and give the good people of Skylands a chance to escape to safety. This First Light Squadron took to the skies in defiance of all odds to meet this threat head-on. The darkness, underestimating our heroes, sent out a small group of fighters to crush them. And was sorely disappointed. Darkness, enraged at the squadron's continued success, brought more of its armada into the battle. But the First Light Squadron was undeterred. These enemies, too, would fall before the righteous might of these brave pilots. The Dark Forces were relentless in their attack. But the First Light Squadron was determined to destroy the Dark Galleon and cripple the Armada once and for all. First Light Squadron dispatched these foes with authority and continued their quest. Darkness was cunning and called forth the Dark Galleon to vanquish the squadron's hopes. Thus began the final charge of the First Light Squadron. The Armada of Darkness fell that day to a ragtag group of heroic pilots who refused to accept that their quest was impossible. Their courage would inspire all to rise up against the power of the darkness.
Now that was some serious flying! You see that, Skylander? The darkness isn't all powerful, it can be beaten! You should check with Flint. He might have found something useful. Hey, it's possible.
Skylander, you gotta see this book! Looks like this one here talks about how the core of light got made to give the darkness the old beatdown. There's probably more inside, but I'm not really in a hurry to crack it open, if you know what I mean, because it's kind of cursed, but you go right ahead.
The War of the Darkness had nearly been lost as all of Skylands was being held in its terrible grip. But there was one chance. A mythical device built by the ancients to combat the darkness had been discovered. It was called the Core of Light. But finding its location would be the most dangerous mission of them all. darkness knew the core of light would be its end, and so it attacked. Its dark power was beyond comprehension. It shattered mountains and bridges with casual disdain. The darkness's rage was earth-shaking and all-consuming, for it knew that in order for its power to grow, the core of light must stay hidden. Undaunted, even in the face of this great evil, the Skylanders continued the quest.
Level up.
Called forth its evil servants to do its terrible bidding.
Get the green one first, Skylander! He's healing everybody!
But they would fall before the Skylander like limp bundles of experience and treasure. The darkness grew desperate. Again and again it attacked with renewed fury. Then, after a long journey, the lost citadel of the Portal Masters had been reached. The radiant purity of the core of light had been found at last. But in the distance, the darkness raged on.
Wowzers! Looks like the darkness almost conquered Skylands back in the olden days until they used the trusty core of light. But it stopped right before the good part. I totally can't wait to find out what happens next. Maybe the one Mags found will have more info. Don't keep me in suspense!
know? The magic makes change in time. Skylander will go on a special path. Both paths are happy.
Hey there, Skylander! Check this out! I'm not sure it'll help us much, but it's kind of a cool read. It's all about an evil Hydra monster. I've heard of that. Well, it turns out it used to be like a pet of some dark portal masters. Can you imagine that? It's like trying to housebreak a rabid honey badger. Not a good idea. Looks like you'll need a sea vehicle to read this one. All right, well, come back with a sea vehicle when you're set. I bet the next book is gonna be even more exciting than this one. I think Hugo's finally managed to decide on one. You should go find him before he changes his mind.
Oh, hi, Skylander. I'm glad you're here. This book here is called To Light the Dark by Pomfrey LaFuzzbottom. I didn't read much, but it talks about using the core of light to fight the darkness. This could be the one!
Hot streak.
The forces of good had discovered the hidden location of the core of light, but they soon realized that the ancients had never completed this great machine, a secret that to this day has been forgotten. But with the darkness closing in for the final blow, they had no choice. They would power up the core and risk everything in a final battle. And they would hope that even an incomplete core of light would be enough to keep the darkness at bay. The Skylander sped into action. There was only one chance. An all-out attack to drive the darkness toward the core itself. But the darkness would not go easily. The darkness laid snares and traps for the Skylander. The Skylander, however, would not be halted. Unleashed its full power. Its dark might seared the sky, tearing across the land. Their battle echoed across all Skylands, trading blows that shattered islands in their wake. By inch, it was pushed back until it was in range of the core. And then its glorious light filled the sky. With the core of light holding it at bay, it was forced to flee and hide in the deepest, darkest parts of Skylands once again. But for how long? One day it will return for its revenge. In order to destroy the darkness once and for all, the The secret to completing the core of light and unleashing its true power must be found. This will be my life's work.
Any ideas?
The Fuzzbottom!
What'd you call me?
Callie is right. You must seek out the author of that book. If any living being knows how to complete the core, it is Pumphrey LaFuzzbottom.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go find this pom-pom fuzzy bottom guy and turn this core of light into the most awesome weapon ever!
That's Tessa! She shouldn't be trying to fly in these skies. It's too dangerous.
Hopefully the bird broke her fall.
Whoa, that looked like a pretty hard landing. You'd better go check on Tessa, Skylander. I need to examine the book we got from the Spellpunk library for leads on Pumphrey's whereabouts.